Hey, welcome back. What's up, fellas? We are live Casual Chaos podcast 757, recording this on a Tuesday night. I am JayAsh, joining my co-hosts Jeff and Bubba. What's going on, fellas?
What's going on, JayAsh? Jeff, how are you, man?
Doing well, Bubba. And Jay, how's your day going? You doing all right?
I've had better days, Jeff, but I'm a professional. We're here to pod. We're here to do the Casual Chaos podcast. We are the Sports Wagering Community, and you can check us out on all our socials. Follow us at Casual Chaos Live, Instagram, X, TikTok, you name it. You can find us at Casual Chaos Live. We are here to bring sports wagering to the forefront of conversation. We are taking your text messages. We are taking your human interactions, and we are podcasting about it. It's a novel idea. The fans love it. That's why we're recording on a Tuesday night. They said we need more, and we deliver here at Casual Chaos. So with that said, what are you guys watching at 7:58 now on a Tuesday?
Well, with no NHL and no NBA, I'm happily watching the Yankees currently on TBS. So how about you?
The same. As you can see, they sponsored an outfit for me tonight, so I'm watching and I'm excited. Bubba,
I'm on the Yankees, Cleveland as well too. Just so I'm on. Are you guys? We're all at the same pace. Is it 2-2 count right now? Guy just throw a pitch.
Yeah.
Are you guys watching the same thing I'm watching?
Yeah.
Showing 2-2.
Okay. All right. Cool. We're all on the same thing then.
Well, we got a trifecta of baseball. We have no delays on the TVs. I think we're ready to pod. So
let's do it.
With that, let's just jump right into talking tickets. Producer Tyler, hit us with a ticket.
All right, let's go over it here, fellas. We got a couple good ones from last week, actually. We had a couple winners. Let's just jump in right to the winners. Had one that we didn't talk about last week, but we should be talking about this one. It's a $10 bet that paid out $1,500. It's a Rays massive parlay. What is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 leg parlay here. Filled with anything and everything. RBIs, hits, wins, runs, unders, overs. Crazy bet here. Again, $10 bet that paid out $1,500.
Wow.
So probably our biggest win to date, maybe. Big Richard getting a W for his first bet with Casual Chaos is a $1,500 win. So send us these before you bet them. That way we can tail it, because that's fantastic there, Big Richard.
I love that. That's a big time return there.
Yeah, it's certainly the biggest from an odds perspective. Because I think we had a couple real big ones in the first couple weeks, but I don't think from an odds perspective they beat that one. So
yeah,
risk reward. It seems like a Wizard of Odds bet. It was a lot of Lions, Tigers, and Bears. Oh my, there with so many different variables. So congrats on a 7-legger and turning 10 to 1,500.
Yeah, that's another example of unit size. Just if you bet the right wager, at $10, you can turn it into 1,500. Pretty amazing.
Maybe we have to go from Big Richard to Big Dick if you want to go unit size, Bubba.
Say for the people in the back, unit size doesn't matter here, fellas.
That's it.
All right. Well,
we'll edit that for the sponsors.
Yeah. So we got another winner here. We talked about him last week. We kind of set it up. He already had 2 winners going into last week with the Pacers getting a W over the Knicks, and I believe that was game 4, I believe. And then the Oilers to beat the Stars. Then he had PSG to take home the trophy, the wax Inter Milan. I believe it was 5-0, just an ass kicking. PSG got the W, and then Seb Straka brought it home for Tommy here as a top 20 in the Memorial Tournament. I believe he came in the top 10. Is that right, Jay?
He did.
Yeah, so that probably brought some people some money home as well.
Yeah, he finished strong.
Yep.
Yeah, so that was a $25 bonus bet, which is great value to win. Essentially won $200 on a bonus bet, which is great stuff there for Tommy. So 4 different sports and 4 W's. That's pretty awesome there for Tommy.
Risk reward at its finest. Risk 0, win 225. It's fantastic.
Love seeing the winners. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then coming out of Friday, he was a little, as we all were, a little bit nervous for Sep. It didn't look good, but he put on a clinic the last 2 days.
Yeah, exactly. He moving day Saturday and then just kept it going. Again, nobody can really catch Scotty right now, but you can still win some money in golf even though you don't bet Scotty Scheffler.
That's fair.
So then we got our last winner of the week. We talked about him last week, I believe, as well. We had Spanky here with the Blue Jays series winner, and I believe they just got the old-fashioned sweep. So easy one for Spanky here with the Blue Jays series winner. You guys watch any of the Blue Jays games this weekend?
I did not watch the Blue Jays in the Athletics. I know that for a fact, but I went back and looked at the scores, and they pretty much had their way with them.
Yeah, they've won 5 in a row going into tonight's game, and spoiler, they're getting their hats handed to them tonight. But we'll get to that in a little bit.
Playing the Phillies, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the A's might compete in like the super regionals this week and catch a couple L's in college baseball. The way they've been playing between the A's and Rockies, it's just abysmal baseball on that side of the world.
They might need the home field in Nebraska, right? They need a new stadium
in the cornfields.
You know, they were actually having a decent season until a couple weeks ago when the Yankees went in there, and ever since then they spiraled. They've been getting crushed.
Yankees will change your season for you.
It happens.
It does.
Well, we had those winners this week, and then we have a couple losers this week. Again, we talked about them last week. This was just a golf nightmare for Oak here. Had a bunch of prop bets with some top 10 finishes and some winners. Unfortunately, caught the L across the board, so just kind of a nightmare watching the Memorial for Oak here. But we go again. We got another week. We got the Canadian Open this week, and then we got the U.S. Open the week to follow. So we got some good golf on the horizon. So some of these guys will probably Corey Connor's probably one that I'd be looking at. Tony Finau drives the ball well, so some guys that maybe look forward to in the next couple weeks here.
I think we referred to this as a laundry list bet. And
sure did.
What it seems like is you went to the laundromat, you had all your quarters, you put your laundry in, you turned around to grab a soda, you turned back around, your clothes were gone, and your coins were gone.
Correct.
all the one shot, and you said, "God damn it, I need to buy a washer and dryer."
Yeah. You got to your car and it didn't turn on. They robbed you of your wheels as well on the way out. So tough week there.
We might have to DM him and see if that was actually what he was going to do with his winnings, if he was going to buy a washer and dryer.
So we got another one here. We got the Rain Man sending in a bet on the Knicks money line, and then the Knicks Pacers over 22, which did 222, excuse me, which did hit the over, but the Knicks obviously did not bring it home on Saturday night. Indiana Pacers moving on to the NBA Finals. So this bet here for Rain Man, unfortunately, not a winner, but we move forward. We keep things rolling over here, and we got one more loser from last week. Again, we had Spanky. We sang his praises a second ago with his Blue Jays winner. This one, Dallas Stars, got the gentleman's sweep, I believe, by Edmonton. Those guys are going back to the Stanley Cup Finals. We were kind of commenting on that game live last week with goals galore. I think Jay ended up taking the over in that game, and I think it hit maybe early on in the second period. So Dallas Stars took the L. Edmonton on to the Stanley Cup Finals to face off against the Florida Panthers for the second straight year. So exciting stuff. That's our winners. That's our losers, guys. Send us your bets whenever you place them. Don't know if they're winners, don't know if they're losers. We'll wait on them. We'll see what we got. So please send in your bets, send in your tickets. We want to talk about them. This is for you guys to sing your praises when you get those big W's like Big Richard, and talk about the L's every once in a while, see how close you got.
Yeah, listen, we're recording this early in the week on a Tuesday, so we'll publish this Wednesday, worst case scenario Thursday, but look for it on Wednesday. You got all week, a lot of action throughout the weekend, a lot of big events. So send us your tickets, all the socials at Casual Chaos Live. We want to talk about it. All right.
Absolutely. Well, shift gears, boys. What do we got this week? We got the NBA Finals starting up.
We do. The Knicks got bounced. Pacers took care of business. We were just looking at that ticket, and game 6 was competitive. It was super physical. It was a knockdown, drag out style game, even with the pace. I just think Nembhard just completely disheveled Brunson from the word go, just 94 feet of in your face, and just ripping the ball from them on a regular basis. So some good defense, some helter-skelter plays, a lot of physicality, bodies on the floor, little taste of old school basketball mixed in with the new. I don't know. I thought it was a great series. I thought it was fun to watch. Not shocked by the outcome. Looking forward to the finals. But what do you guys think?
Go ahead, Jeff.
I don't have much to add. I mean, it was a fun series. Definitely two different styles of play. I thought going in, Indiana was the clear favorite, and watching the games, I think I was spot on with that. I mean, especially since they ended up winning. But I'm looking forward to the finals. Before we get to the finals, Bubba, what did you think about that last series there?
No, I thought it's funny you say, because I feel the same way that I felt about the Pacers in the Knicks series. I feel about the Thunder in the finals. I feel like the Thunder now are what I thought the Pacers were going to do to the Knicks, and they ended up doing, are going to do that to the Pacers. So roles kind of reversed for the Pacers now going into the finals. But I mean, that series, like, we called it, right? I think I had him either getting swept or maybe it going 4-1, going 5 games. But turning the page to the finals, it's we were talking about it before the cast, and Tyler, I don't want to take credit for what you said, and you said it, but just OKC could probably be up there with, top 5 teams of all time if they end up sweeping or even winning 4-1 if it goes to game 5. It's going to be a very interesting finals. And, Jeff, you said you think the Pacers may sneak away with one,
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be fast paced, so it'll be good. I mean, ratings wise, we talked about this last week. Who knows how it's going to do with the ratings? OKC versus the Pacers isn't necessarily the sexiest matchup of all time, but style of play wise, it should be fun. So the people who do tune in, they should have a good time watching it. I do think OKC is they are a huge favorite, but I agree with that sentiment. I'd be shocked if this goes. I'd be shocked if it goes past 6 games, and I'd really be surprised if it even goes past 5. So I expect a sweep or them winning in 5 games. I just think they're that good.
When we talked about it last week, when we recorded Thursday, we talked about, thinking OKC would probably be a big favorite at -325, maybe even sneaking up to 350. So we were right on the big number part. We didn't recognize it was going to be a double. So it's -700. There's value at +500 for the Pacers. If you're in the underdogs, I know there's a lot of future tickets out there that, hoping they get a cash out offer. But the safer play is probably OKC in 5 or 6 for that matter. And I think it's like +325 and +410 respectively, something along those lines. We were saying earlier, it's +220 for a sweep, which means there's not a ton of confidence in Indiana. As good as OKC is, I would be shocked if Indiana doesn't sneak a win, if not 2. So I would hedge, or I would, lean towards 5 games or 6 games. But I still think I thought OKC would win it all year. I'm not wavering from that. So unbelievable job by the Pacers to get there. I'm just looking forward to a good series, and who knows with all the rest in between the first 3 games.
Yeah.
So
it's not like they were, OKC. It's not like they were shooting, lights out to begin with. So it's not like they're going to cool off with the break. They probably need, the way they play. Although they play a lot of guys, but the way they play, that rest is probably going to do them well. So I have a feeling they're going to come out Thursday like they were shot out of a cannon.
Yeah.
So
well, like we were talking about earlier, though, you get a week off and then you play Thursday night and then you're not playing again until Sunday.
Yeah.
It's
crazy.
So it's nuts. It's nuts. So, well, I mean, I'll tell you who did not enjoy the outcome of the series is Tom Thibodeau, because he went bye-bye today, so less than 72 hours after the Knicks clawing their way to the Eastern Conference Final. It's like, thanks for bringing us back to relevancy. Go get your hair done.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's fallen into like the Doug Collins role, whereas teams are going to hire him to get them to a certain point, and then they think basically he's hit his ceiling. That type of thing,
Yep.
I'm not saying I agree with it, but I think that's the way he's looked at right now in the league.
So are we thinking the leader in the clubhouse for that job? It's between a complete Villanova reunion and we get Jay Wright in there, or do you think they're going former NBA, championship coach Mike Malone?
So here's the problem with Jay Wright. And I've also, believe it or not, I've also saw Van Gundy's name thrown around, Jeff Van Gundy.
Wow.
Not Stan, Jeff. Jeff, for those that don't know, Jeff has been coaching in the league the past couple of years. He was on the Celtics staff 2 years ago. And this year he was, who was he with this year?
Clippers.
Yes, the Clippers. Okay. So he has been back in the league for a couple of years. So his name has been thrown around. But here's the problem with Jay Wright and Jeff. They're 63. I don't know. I mean, does that mean the Knicks won't hire them? You know what I mean? No, of course not. I mean, there's guys in their 60s that are still coaching in all pro sports leagues, but I'm just not sure they're going to go that route. Michael Malone is a sensible choice. Budenholzer, both those guys have won a ring in the past 5 years, so they're both sensible choices. And then, of course, the sexy name that you hear thrown around is Dan Hurley from UConn, right? A lot of people think he turned the Lakers down last year simply because they were on the West Coast. And if he could ever get the Knicks or the Celtics, that he would actually leave UConn for one of those two jobs. I guess we'll see. We have no idea if the Knicks are even interested in him, but and Dolan will certainly pay him whatever he wants. I mean, money won't be a problem there, right? So we'll see what happens. Now, selfishly, I hope he doesn't leave UConn.
Agree.
They're going to have a really good team this year, and I'd like to see him win another ring. But it wouldn't be shocking, right? Do you agree? I mean, it wouldn't be. That's the one team that wouldn't be shocking if he left for, right?
No, it wouldn't be shocking. It'd be irritating. You and I have the same rooting interest there. I do think Jay Wright, he made a comment years ago that the only NBA job he would ever take is the Knicks. And it just does make sense with all the Villanova guys there. I don't see Bud being an option just because if the Giannis whispers are true, Giannis already fired Coach Bud, so I don't think he's going to go play for him again. The Van Gundy thing is really interesting because you very seldom see a coach, make a comeback 20 years later to the same organization. So
right.
I know Alonzo Mourning's left leg is tingling right now. He might have to jump on that again. So we'll see what happens. For our older listeners.
Yeah, I do think it's going to be Malone. That's just my guess. I mean, his father has a history with New York. Yeah. So, Bubba, what's your thoughts?
I mean, honestly, I knew that he got let go, or they moved on from him, but I haven't heard anything about it. I haven't looked into it, but I just pulled up this list. Frank Vogel's on the list. I don't know what you guys think about that.
I'd be surprised.
He's on every list. Yeah,
he's on every list.
But I don't think the Knicks would think he's big enough to take that job, to be honest with you.
Sam Castle, Steve Nash. I mean, there's some crazy names, and none of the names that you guys mentioned are on this list that I just pulled up. And
it definitely won't be Nash. Cassell is an interesting name, but
actually Malone's on the list, so there you go.
Yeah.
Bubba, it's not shocking that mainstream media does not have the same list that we do. Obviously, the Casual Chaos podcast is at the forefront of coaching vacancies. So stick with us. We'll take you places.
Yeah, I'm on it. I mean, you guys know best when it comes to NBA, and I know you guys are huge Villanova fans. So if you guys don't want to see that guy go, it sounds like based on our track record or bragging rights, he may be on his way to New York.
I'd actually like to see Jay Wright take that job. I mean, but again, at his age, he just might. He's been out of coaching for 3 years now. Is it 3?
Yep.
Yeah, 3 years. So this will be the fourth. I mean, if this season, this come up season will be the fourth year. He just might be done. Those guys get paid well doing commentary on TV, which is what he's doing now. He just may not want the hassle.
Yeah, he's got a good lifestyle. I wouldn't be shocked if Hurley took the job, but I would be very disappointed. We've got a nice season in the making here. He definitely cares about where his legacy is, and he cares about UConn basketball, and he just wants to keep winning titles. So
it wouldn't
blame him.
It would be understandable, though, right?
Yeah,
like you just said, you can't blame him. But yeah,
right.
For those that don't know, he's basically spent his whole life in the Northeast. He grew up in New Jersey, North Jersey, for that matter.
Yeah.
And he coached in Rhode Island, and now he's coaching at Connecticut. But he's been in the Northeast his whole life, so that's why it was always odd to think of him going out west to LA. The Knicks seem like a perfect fit. But like we said, who knows if the Knicks are even interested in him? I'm sure they'll do an interview with him, but who knows if they had any real interest. So.
Yeah. All right. Just to wrap the NBA up, everybody's consensus OKC?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I got one real quick before we move on. And one name I don't think was said in New York's his haven. How about Ricky P? Rick Pitino?
No.
You don't think?
Yeah. Nah.
I mean, he's
coaching.
Right?
He's coaching in Madison Square Garden.
He is. And he's doing a good job too.
I don't know. Maybe just a random thought just came across my head. We were talking about college coaches, and I was like, "What about Rick Pitino?" I mean,
it's not a crazy name.
He's not leaving New York. He's definitely not leaving New York.
Yeah.
No,
whatever
but
he does.
He's been there, done that, and it was less than impressive. You know.
Yeah.
So,
but I mean, there's a lot of NBA coaches that have done that.
Right, I was going to say that could be a reason why he wants to go back too. It could be.
I think
I don't think they'd be interested because of his age, but
he makes great money. He looks good in his white St. John suit. He couldn't wear that suit in the NBA.
Fair point.
He was courtside for the playoffs. I think he likes the celebrity status to go along with it.
Oh yeah,
so,
I would agree with that for sure.
He would rather be sitting behind Chalamet, not having Chalamet sit next to him as a coach.
Yeah.
Right, Chalamet, big friend of the program.
Just wanted to throw it out there for the purposes of the pod. I thought it was a good idea. Maybe.
No, it's a good call.
I'm gonna look like a genius in 6 months.
Well,
hopefully it doesn't take him that long.
Yeah.
All right, let's timestamp this. We're good. All right, so let's move on to the number one segment of the podcast, which is the 30 seconds that we cover hockey, which everybody knows is Florida's sport, the birthplace of hockey. We've got the Panthers and the Oilers coming up in the Stanley Cup Finals because a Florida team just goes to the Stanley Cup Finals every year. That's how Florida
It's a
rolls.
given now. Yeah.
It's very much like, it's Maryland, it's football and crab cakes. When you think Florida, you think the puck. So
really good hockey. Yeah.
Oh, it's just amazing. So who do you guys got? And if you don't know, I believe the Oilers are a -120 favorite to an even money for the Panthers.
Yeah. I mean, I did know who was playing, so I guess I get points for that. But as far as who's going to win, I have no idea. I don't hide the fact I'm not a big hockey guy. So
you're projecting someone will win the series.
I'm confident somebody will win 4 games. Yes.
Right. Yeah.
That's
That's got to be an even money play. Bubba?
I like Florida. I think Florida's gonna win it. I think it's gonna be in 6 games, and Florida's gonna take it home.
Okay. Producer Tyler?
On the other side, I think it's the Oilers in 6. I think you look at the history. Gretzky went back-to-back in the Stanley Cup, lost his first one against the same opponents. Lost the first one, won the second one. Sidney Crosby went back-to-back, same opponents, lost the first one, won the second one. Connor McDavid in his journey to being the next great Canadian hockey player, I think loses the first one, rights the wrong, wins the second one. They get it done in 6 games. I think they could have gotten it done last year. They played so shitty in the first 2 games, and they ended up pulling it back to get all the way to 7 after being down 3-0. So I think Edmonton brings it home this time. I think Connor McDavid gets his Conn Smythe, and it starts a run for the Oilers because they are very, very talented.
All right.
All right.
I like the rundown. I like the recap. I think it'd be a great thing for Canada to just keep that campaign to be the 51st state alive
and
by winning
and know what
Cup.
it feels like. Know what it
Absolutely.
feels like to win.
Just lot of positive there. So I'm kind of where Jeff is. I don't know who's going to win this one, but I'll just stay on brand and say it's going to be a Florida victory.
There we go.
Not a crazy statement, by the way. Florida's very, very good too. I just think I like the history of those 2 great Canadian hockey players having the exact same situation happen, and just feels like you're right. It's written already.
The best players on the Oilers, correct?
Yeah, but Florida's just dogs, man. They just if you watch hockey, they're just dogs. They just don't stop. They get in your face. They added Brad Marchand, who's like the most annoying hockey player in the world to play against.
He just beats people up.
Yeah, he just pokes you, and in a 7-game series, eventually you're going to do something that's going to get you caught up and him not, and they take advantage of those moments. So
yeah,
it'll be a very fun series. I'm super excited about it. So I think it will be much better series than the last two that we had because the Panthers just walked through the Carolina Hurricanes, and then the Oilers took care of business on Dallas. So I think it'll be a very, very good series that I'm very excited to watch.
Yep,
All right. All right. Well, that is the conclusion of the 2-minute hockey blast that we tend to do here on this program.
Call it the power play. Call it the power play.
The power play. That's it. That's it. When you got 4 people strong here, just running the puck up and down the ice, blue line to blue line. It's a special day.
Quick shifts.
Let's get off the slippery stuff and get on to the dirt. And let's talk about the Belmont coming up at Saratoga.
Yes.
The last leg of the Triple Crown. I'm excited about this one, even though it's a smaller field than I would have liked. I would have liked at least to see 10 horses here instead of 8. But basically you have the top 3 horses, or I should say the finishing 1, 2, 3 horses from the Derby in Savantry, Journalism, and Baeza. So those are going to be 3 of the 3 favorite-ish on the money. Journalism did open up 8-5 on the morning line. Sovereignty's 2-1. That'll probably flip-flop come post, in my opinion. Yeah, I think so. I mean, what I'm seeing from the beat writers and Horse Nation and those fun rags is everybody thinks Sovereignty, who's been like we said, they pulled out of the Preakness, so he's been training there since the Derby. So he's rested, ready to go. I just don't think he was the better horse than Journalism that day, so it'll be interesting. I've got a different horse than the 3 we just named, so we could talk about it. But I'll pass it over to Bubba to start.
I mean, I'm sticking with the chalk here. I like Journalism. I like the 7 horse. I think is he in the 7th spot?
Yep.
If that does change, I'll like him even more. If that does flip flop, I'll like him even more. That's who I'm gonna bet. There's some good horses in this. Right? I mean, the 6 Baeza's a great horse. Rodriguez is back in there. Bob Baffert, Mike Smith, and then obviously Sovereignty. Do you know anything about this one horse 10-1? Chad Brown, Irad Ortiz.
No, I don't know.
No. Which one? Hill Road?
Yeah, Hill Road. Sorry, Hill Road.
No, not much. I mean, he's 2-0-2. I mean, just reading the stats. And, grade 3 is his biggest race. So huge step up in class.
Right. Nothing special.
I mean, and if this was actually at Belmont with that jockey trainer combination, kind of a different story, especially if it was on turf.
Right.
Toga, Irad's got a decent record there, but that's not his playground like Belmont is.
Yeah. I like the 7. I like Journalism, and I'm hoping that it flips, like you said.
Yeah.
Ash, have you looked at the forecast yet? What's the weather supposed to be like?
I haven't seen it. I mean, we're days out, so I'm thinking dry.
Okay.
I'm thinking dry. I mean, I haven't heard chatter at all, so I'm thinking dry.
I hate going with the favorites in these races. I always like looking for value, but I'm thinking Sovereignty is gonna win with the extra rest. Likes to come from behind, as we know. But if it's going to be a dry track, and of course we don't know that for a fact, but if it's going to be a dry track, I like going that way. So
I think it's 50% chance of rain.
Oh, okay.
Oh, so I've got a forecast that says 50% chance of sun.
You both might be right. You
could
be right.
You could be. So the last 25 races, the post-time favorite has had 7 victories, placed 6 times with 4 thirds. Thus, only 8 favorites ended up off the board. So you've got to have the chalk in your exotics. You have to have it underlays, if you will. If you're going to be betting the favorite, you're going to have to push a little bit hard on a number if you want to make real money. So with all that said, Jazz just scored. I've been saying this since he pulled out of the Derby and scheduled to run here, so I'm going to kind of stick with it. And I think I even mentioned something to Jeff last week before, the rest of the field was announced. I kind of like Rodriguez here, sneaky. He won the Wood Memorial, which was at Aqueduct this year. It's there every year. But I just think when these West Coast horses come east, you run a couple races in New York before you go to a bigger race, and winning the Wood Memorial is huge. So you're kind of climatized. You're used to the New York surfaces, which are different than the West Coast. So Baffert's won 3 of these before. Again, if this was Belmont, I think I'd have a completely different strategy. But I like Rodriguez. And then I also, if we've got to find a bomb here, it probably goes up from 15-1, which is the morning line. I would love to take a shot on Crudo, and most likely will. Pletcher, Johnny V as a combination. The horse is 2-0. It's Justify, sired. So you got the lineage, you got the trainer, you got the jockey. So I'll be playing that in some form of across the board. Maybe not, huge money, but it's worth the flyer, and definitely put him in a handful of exotics. So Saturday I will, at least personally, I'll put something up on our Instagram. I'll do a quick live video. I'll show my tickets for the race. Do with that information what you want. If you don't like it, please feel free to commentate. When I win, feel free to thank me. So. What else? Got anything else there?
You did hit on the Derby, so
I hit on the Derby. I believe I hit on the Preakness too. I might win. I might win the Triple Crown. I don't know about any of these horses. So hopefully it translates. We'll see what happens. I'm looking forward to it. It should be a good card all day. And just a personal aside for what it's worth. If you've never been to Saratoga, I would highly recommend it. If you've never been to a track, period, you should experience it. It's a beautiful track where most tracks are not. They're, with the exception of like the Keenelands of the world, like they're all kind of run down. It's not, the pageantry is there, but the thing about Saratoga, it's family friendly. You got huge picnic areas. The paddocks are outside of the track itself, and the horses walk through the picnic area. So if you got kids, they get to get up and close and personal to the horses. You can hang out, do a picnic when the horses come walking through. Go inside, place your bet, watch the race, go hang out for 20 minutes with your family, rinse and repeat. So killer time, great city. Lot of people go this time of year. So worth your time, worth checking out. Just a little plug. We're not sponsored by Saratoga. Should be.
It'd be nice. Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, that's the Belmont. We'll be following that closely. And then last but not least on the open gambling docket, we've got the Canadian Open, right? Which is a golf tournament for those that don't know, preceding the United States Open or the US Open. So interesting if Canada does become the 51st state, if we continue to call it the Canadian Open or the 51st state Open. Just seeing who is political while listening.
Or just US Open 1A.
1A. Oh, geez. That would be glorious. Glorious. So somebody will send a drone up from the Gulf of America. So I'm going to have producer Tyler jump in because I'm sure he's the most prepared to talk golf here. So what are we thinking about the Canadian Open this weekend, producer Tyler?
I haven't looked at a ton right now, but you got Rory's coming off. Obviously, all this
don't
shit.
Give me that shit. Don't give me that shit.
Hey, let me talk here before you jump down my throat there, pal, buddy. I think Rory McIlroy is a great not to make the cut.
Okay, there we go.
This week.
There we go.
Spieth, I'm assuming, is in the field this week.
Yeah.
Spieth's been playing a little bit better. Impossible to bet against Scotty theoretically, but I mean,
who's this?
It's not fun.
Kid?
He's just playing great golf for 4 straight weeks of just playing great golf. I think in North Carolina week. Scotty's not playing this week.
No.
All right, so that gives someone a chance to win. So it will be like a Ludwig Orberg, maybe getting a win before the U.S. Open. He hasn't been playing spectacular. Max Homa been playing fairly well. Just missed out on the U.S. Open. This past Monday was longest day in golf for all the guys trying to make the U.S. Open. He just missed it in like a 5-way playoff with like Cam Young, all PGA guys, and he 3-putted the 18th hole to get into the playoff. So if he just 2-putts, he gets in. He ends up 3-putting. Yeah, tough for him, but he's been playing well. So those would be my, I would say maybe Spieth, Homa, Oberg. those would be kind of my bets to maybe get a W out there in Canada land.
Just
What are you
side
thinking,
note
Jay?
here. Side note here before Jay goes. Friend of the pod, Jimmy Jones. He's a Tampa guy. He went to, I want to say, Freedom High School, but he's a really close friend of mine. Loves the pod. He was playing in the final qualifier for the U.S. Open in Canada Monday, Tuesday, and he finished 2 strokes back from playing in his first PGA event ever, which would be the Canadian Open. So, sorry, U.S. Open. I apologize. U.S. Open. But he would have been in if he came in top 7, and I think he tied for 8.
Jesus.
Yeah, that's a grind, man. You got to play 36 holes the same day.
Yeah, dude. He shot a 67.
Man.
He shot a 67 and a 69 and didn't make the cut.
Yeah, I think there was a 15-year-old, and I forget which place, but they have like 12 different places that they try and qualify for. There was like a 15-year-old high school kid that shot, I think 67, made won his like area by like 4 or 5 strokes, is going to play in the U.S. Open this week. Just literally a 15-year-old child that just went out and shot 67 back-to-back days at a U.S. Open qualifier.
Yeah.
But what do you think, Jay? What do you got on the docket for this week?
Well, big shout out to Bubba's buddy though. That's impressive.
That's sick.
Hell of an effort. Yep.
Yeah, no shame in that game. I'd be happy to shoot in 67 on the front 9 in that tournament. Good for him.
So I know he'll like us shouting him out on the pod. He's going to be there one day, but he didn't get there this year. So
yeah. So Rory's plus 450, which is kind of an absurd number, but it makes sense without Scotty in the field. Plus, did he win it? He didn't win it. Did he win it? He did win it last year.
I think Robert McIntyre won it last year, I believe.
Okay, so I wouldn't be shocked to see McIntyre, be in that leaderboard come Sunday. He's playing decent. He hasn't really gotten over the top, but at plus 3250, I like those odds. I actually do like Oberg this weekend, Tyler. He looked good on Sunday. I still think something's been off with him. He obviously plays the Masters pretty well, but he's been a little streaky. But I think this course might line up for him. Shane Lowry texted me last Sunday before his final round tipped off, because I had him top 10 and top 20. And I thought it was a weird text. I told Oki this. I got a text from him about 8 a.m. and just said, "Fuck off." And I was like, what's Shane all upset about? And like at 2:00, I checked the leaderboard. He started the day at 9th and he was 32nd when I checked the leaderboard. So I guess he was just telling me he decided not to play. So I've got a little bone to pick with Shane, and I'm going to stay off of him this weekend. Just wanted to get that story out there. I'm seeing both Corey Connors and Pendrith and Mackenzie Hughes pretty high up on the odds board. Decent odds for Canadians, but I'm going to go with Nick Taylor. If you paid attention last week in the elevated event, I don't think it's a surprise that he stepped his game up, played really well. Finished top 5. So I think it's a good precursor. He won this thing 2 years ago, kind of an epic playoff against Fleetwood. He drained a 70-footer.
Yeah, no business going in.
Right. Adam Hadwin went to congratulate him, got Terry-tated. So it was an epic event. So I kind of like Nick Taylor. I like Nick Taylor top 5, top 10 as well. So I think it's, for me, it's going to be Oberg, it's going to be McIntyre, it's going to be Taylor, and then kind of pick and choose what I like in the props.
Yeah.
Jeff, golf thoughts?
No, but did you see what just happened to Judge? I'm pissed off.
I did just see that. And if this guy hits a home run right now, that fan, did you see that?
The question is, did he reach into the field to play? I don't think he did, but they're looking at it.
I don't think he did, but he's trying to catch a foul ball.
He clearly interfered with the catch. It's just, was it in fair play or foul play? That's the question.
Nice bubble, Boone.
It was definitely foul.
Well, that's what they're looking at, though. They're checking to see if he reached over the wall or not.
Oh no,
I think you're right, Bubba. I think it was in foul territory.
Yeah.
That's tough. It's like right on the line of it.
Yeah.
I don't think you call anything there.
That's bad fandom, though. Assuming he's a Yankee fan, that's bad fandom on his part. I don't know, man. He's reaching over there. So
yeah, but that's from that angle.
Jeff, did you see the ball guy that reached over? I'm pretty sure it's the lead singer from Midnight Oil.
Great camera shot here. We're gonna put the Sorry,
Yeah,
bad podcasting, but they're showing a replay of literally the guardrail. You couldn't see. It was awful.
How do we sleep while our beds are burning?
Yeah, no, what's going to happen is this guy's, I mean, he'll probably strike him out. It's a 1-2 count. But, like, if this guy hits a dinger, that fan's going to feel like shit.
Yeah, I'll be pissed. I mean, again, you'll see why in a bit, but I'll be pissed if he does. So
Yeah, it's a regular season baseball, guys. Nobody cares.
Yeah. Anyway.
Well, for those,
Bubba and I got a vested interest, so let's just put it that way.
Good point.
Yeah,
Good point.
yeah.
Good point. But
That's
tie a
fair.
bow on the golf. Yeah, Jay, I think you're kind of spot on with all those names there. One to
Jackson
just throw out
Jackson
there.
Suber's in the pool.
Plant
So,
guy, Plant High School,
Yeah.
Tampa guy as well. I just scrolled past his name. The Canadians last year, 2 years ago was the first time somebody won it. But Jake Knapp, Jay. I mean, he seems to always kind of get. Again, they showed this shot. But Jake Knapp's another one.
I don't know why they think that's a good shot. I'm sorry, Tyler.
No, I know. It's absolutely abysmal. I hope we can show you guys this. Like, oh, finally we found a shot without a guardrail in the way.
By the way,
it
that
really does look like he reached over
at that.
there. Yeah, they
It's
did.
tough.
They called him out.
Oh yeah, he's out.
Wow. All
Wow.
right.
They're probably scared of Aaron Boone. But yeah, I think Jake Knapp's another guy. He just hits it so well. If he could figure it out for 4 straight days, I think he's got a chance. So Jake Knapp's always a fun one, maybe a top 10, top 20 kind of guy for this week.
I like it.
And next week too. And next week we'll talk about the U.S. Open, but the reports out of Oakmont are difficult. Like some guys saying that like they are struggling out there, but we'll talk about that for another time.
This just in: the U.S. Open is hard.
Like
Prove us
reports of guys like shooting in the 80s, like brutal.
Oh no shit!
Yeah, like triple bogey in holes, like not getting, like can't get it out of the rough, like.
Yeah,
Tough
like
stuff.
I think I said it a couple podcasts ago. One of my buddies played there with his father maybe a month ago, and he said that if you hit it in the rough, you're pretty much toast.
Yeah, you're in jail.
All right,
Yeah.
good. So that's pick. Let's call it 5 of the top 20 players in the world, and just fade them against the cut, which will be plus money. So see what happens. We'll have to put a spreadsheet together.
Yes, sir.
So
Whose job is that?
We'll get a guy. We'll outsource that.
We have to
It's-
outsource that.
yeah, we'll ask ChatGPT and or Claude. So one of the two. So all right, bragging rights.
All right, let's go. I think
Cue-
did the
cue
Pacers
the
screw
music.
everyone?
Yeah,
Pacers.
Yeah.
Pacers screwed everybody that night.
Yeah, I'll run through them really quick, guys. We had Jeff's here, and you guys tell me what hit, what didn't hit. I know all the Pacers ones didn't.
Yeah, everything else won, but the Pacers didn't.
Tough.
It's
Oh,
funny.
for 4.
Yeah.
Well, true. Yeah, but I expected the pace. Basically, what the Pacers did in Game 6 is what I expected them to do in Game 5. So I was
Told you,
game
dude.
late on that.
Take the game off. Take Game 5 off. Win it at home in Game 6.
Yeah, that's what happened. So
Yep.
you were right.
But Braves, Phillies overruns, Athletics, Blue Jays overruns, Rays, Astros overruns, and then the Pacers money line.
Yeah,
got
those other
hemmed
three
up
all
Jeff.
hit. Yep.
And then we had JayAsh with the Pacers +4, over 5.5 goals in the Oilers Stars game. That hit like quickly. Maybe while we were still on the pod. Rays, Astros over in runs, and Mariners to win against the Nationals. Pacers the only one that beat you up there, Jay?
Nope, 1 and 3. Just embarrassing. You've heard me say it once. I'll say it again. Betting all plays on the night of the pod is a recipe for disaster. So I'll take my medicine. Moving on. Hoping for bigger and better things.
That's all we can do here. All we can do. And then Bubba had the Pacers over in points. It was, I think, way under. I think it was only like 185 or something like that. It was crazy.
Yeah.
The Knicks just the Pacers just didn't score.
It wasn't that bad. It was like 210.
Was it?
Yeah,
Like, to get all the way up there. It was like
Yeah,
it was like
it was-
175 at the beginning of the fourth quarter or something crazy like that. They definitely they got it a little closer than it should have been for the Knicks there at one point, but was that the only one? The Dallas Stars didn't win for you either.
Dallas Stars didn't win. I think the Astros one hit,
And
and
the
I want to
Mariners
say
lost.
I want to say the Mariners lost. Yep.
Yeah, because I think Jay had the same thing. Well, we give it another run this week. We got bragging rights this week, and Jeff, why don't you lead us off here with your bragging rights?
Okay, so let's see what do we got here. So we got the Astros and the Pirates. I took the under in this game, 7.5, thinking you got Skeens pitching and the Pirates offense is just putrid. Right now, its score is 1-0 in the 8th, so I'm looking pretty good right there. Yankees, I got them winning by more than 1 run. Right now, they're up 1-0 in the bottom of the 6th, so I still need a little help there, but I'm in good shape. Phillies, Blue Jays over 8.5. Right now, it's at 8 runs. The Phillies are up 7-1 in the 5th, so again, I look decent there, obviously. Phillies got Harper back today. So, their offense woke up finally, and the Blue Jays had been hot coming into I'm sorry. The Blue Jays, I was watching. I thought Judge might have hit a homer, but he didn't. The Blue Jays had been hot coming into the series, so I figured it'd be a lot of runs, and so far I have been correct. The one I'm worried about is the Angels Red Sox. Over 9.5 right now. There's been 4 runs scored. I think they're in like the 4th inning. So $25 would bring back $354, and hopefully the Angels put up a bunch of runs in that game so that I hit the over and the Red Sox lose. That's what I'm looking for.
All right.
Very nice. Very nice.
Well
Jay, why don't you rattle off yours here?
Okay, so we're in trouble right out of the gate. I've got the Yankees over 4.5 runs. Just need to get the 5. They're sitting out 1 in the 6th inning. Doesn't look great. So I also have the under 6 goals in the hockey game tomorrow night. I just figure a little bit of tightness in game 1, even though Edmonton's explosive. If Florida's going to hang around, we know they're bangers. So I'm just thinking 6 goals is a lot for game 1 of a Stanley Cup. So going under there. I like the Thunder to win money line. The -9 just seems a little rich. See how the first game plays out. And then I called it just a few minutes ago. I like Nick Taylor, top 10 at +400. So if the Yankees can get their shit together, I'd like to get out of this evening and have a chance to cash 25, making 610.
There we go.
Yeah, I like all those. The refs usually swallow the whistle early on in a series too sometimes, so you can get some no penalty plays in that series and get something going there on the hockey bet if you get there. Hopefully the Yankees hit a home run, something, get it going.
Yeah, I mean the Yankees have the most. I think they have the most 5-run innings in the league this year. So you never know; they might blow up here in the next few innings. You never know.
Yeah, I need them to score too. So I'll go through mine from the bottom all the way up to the top. I got 25 is going to win me 223 here if it hits, but I got the Yankees on the run line -1.5. They're up 1-0 right now and going into the top of the 7th. I got the Mets on a run line too, +1.5 at the Dodgers. That game's out west, so it starts at 10 o'clock tonight. That'll be a fun one to wake up to tomorrow at 5:30 in the morning when my son wakes up. Let's see here. I got the Reds money line. They're tied right now with the Brewers, and then I got the Cubs. I'm sticking with my Cubs from after my Chicago trip for my buddy's bachelor party. We're all Cubs fans now, and they are absolutely destroying the Nationals right now. 8-3 in the top of the 7th. So that one looks good. My Reds are tied, and then I got the Mets and the Yankees hopefully come through. For all those games are happening today, so I'll know if I'm a winner later this evening.
Yeah, well, I mean, at least you're in the same boat I am with the Yankees. I mean, we're in good shape at least.
Yeah, we're fine. We just need them to push another one across.
Yeah.
Yep, that is what we're hoping for, Jay. We're hoping for some runs here. I think everyone is in the same boat there for you. So get to 6, and I think everyone's a winner.
Yep.
Hope is not a strategy.
No, it is not.
Well, unfortunately, we're not playing, so that's all we can do, my friend.
Oh my God, you're right. We can't influence the game, can we?
There you go.
That's it. All right.
Those days have gone. Those days used to exist. Not anymore. Yeah.
They did. I've got a lot of broken TVs to prove it. So with that being said, follow us on the socials at Casual Chaos Live. All the socials, X, Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky. I don't think we're on Truth Social. So, wherever you want to check us out, I'm sure you can find us. If you're watching the pod on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, again, these are video pods, so you can watch us, you can listen to us. Either way, we love the support. If you are on YouTube, do us a favor, hit that little subscribe button. It's greatly appreciated.
And it's free.
It's free. It's free for now. Get him now while it's free. It'll pay dividends back to you long term. So it's worth the time investment of approximately half a second. So we appreciate the fans. We appreciate the support. We appreciate the effort by the guys pulling us together on a Tuesday night. We're looking forward to a huge weekend of sports of all kinds on the hardwood, on the ice, on the dirt. I'd say on the pitch, but no one's paying attention to soccer. So for Jeff, for Bubba, for producer Tyler, I am JayAsh. We are done. Thank you for joining us. Great job, fellas.
Peace out, guys.
Good job,
nice
boys.
Job.
All right, everybody. Hi, everyone. This is JayAsh, one of the hosts of the Casual Chaos podcast you are about to listen to discusses gambling and wagering on sporting events. Please be advised the gambling and sports wagering content during this podcast is for informational and entertainment purposes only and does not constitute financial or gambling advice. Sports wagering involves significant risk. If you choose to gamble, please do so responsibly and only gamble with funds that you can comfortably afford to lose. All opinions, wagering tickets discussed, or implied wagers on the Casual Chaos podcast are not guarantees to result in financial gain. You must be 21 years or older or of legal gambling age in your jurisdiction to participate in sports wagering. Please verify the gambling and sports wagering laws and regulations within your jurisdiction prior to placing bets. Listeners are solely responsible for their own wagering decisions and outcomes. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, help is available. Call or text the National Problem Gambling Helpline at 1-800-GAMBLER. That's 1-800-426-2537. We encourage everyone to engage with sports betting responsibly. The host and the Casual Cast podcast assume no liability for any losses incurred as a result of listening to this content.